So hello to whoever might be watching this video. It's just a little thing I put together of me making a little helmet cam for my mirrorless camera, and also just trying to mess around with Movie Maker and put something together. But I hope you enjoy. So right here I'm just scribing both sides to get a center point, and then I'm going to punch the center point, make a little divot, and then drill through that so I can get more accurate holes rather than just marking it and drilling.
Perfect. Down the center.
Now also I'm marking this and drilling these holes right now while the piece is flat, because I'm going to be bending it and I don't know that it's going to fit on the drill press if it's bent. So now is the best time to do this part.
Ooh. Whoa. Started bending up here from hitting it right here. That's crazy. Alright, that's actually almost what I want. Almost there. To the other side. Alright, cool. Okay, that's the shape I'm trying to achieve right now. That's where I am. That's what I got. That's what I was going for. Now I gotta do the next side. There we go. That's the piece I was looking for.
So right here I'm just holding up the front piece that I already finished, and I'm trying to get an idea of how long these side struts need to be. So I'm just going to mark it and cut 2 of them out. Okay, and so now that I got my 2 side struts, I'm putting them together in a clamp, and I'm going to put them on the grinder just to even up both the edges, because cutting them by hand like that with the hacksaw made them a little bit different lengths, so now they're even. And now just marking where the screw is going to go on the side strut, just so it doesn't hang over the back edge. Okay, so now I'm using the screws that came with the helmet, and they're really short, and to get an extra little bit of length from them, I'm going to countersink a little hole in the side strut, and that's what I'm measuring here to see how big of a hole I need.
Alright, so I got this drill bit here, and it seems a little bit undersized, and I can't have it any undersized at all. I'd rather have it oversized, and my next size up is this guy right here, which is a little oversized, and that's actually alright for what I'm doing. That'll work just fine.
Right here I'm just drilling out the little countersink for the bolt to go through, and as you can see right there, it fits in there nice and flush, just gives it a cleaner look and keeps me from having to go buy another bolt.
Okay, now that's where we are. A lot of bending, it's a lot of tweaking, nothing I wanted to film. Just put it in the vise. So yeah, that's where we're at right now.
This is marking where the holes are going to go to run the paracord through. It's going to suspend the whole rig itself. And using the countersink bit to clean up all these holes I drilled, and it just adds a little chamfer onto every little hole. Gives it a little cleaner, more finished look. So these bolts are way too long, so I'm just marking them to cut them down. And now a little trick here to save the threads after you make a cut is to keep the nut on there, and then you make the cut, and then you unscrew the nut. And what that does is the nut resets the thread as you take it off, and I'll just show you.
Also, I'm holding it by the thread that I don't want, because I don't care if it gets damaged. I really don't care.
Now when I take this nut off, the threads on the nut will correct any bent threads on the bolt. And now I shouldn't have any problems putting the nut back on.
Okay, now I want to clean up these corners. I'm gonna go like this. I got a nice arc of where I need to grind away, so I'm trying to grind those away.
Now this part right here isn't absolutely necessary for functionality, it's more or less aesthetics. And if you're walking around with square corners on your giant helmet cam expecting to get some action from the females, then you better just forget about it, because rounding those corners is going to be the game-changing factor there.
Alright, so now here's where we're at. The corners are all rounded. Everything looks nice and neat. I cut the screws so they're short. All this is nice and rounded. Now I just got to attach from that hole up around here and back down to this hole. I'm going to use some paracord.
Alright, I actually lied. The next step is going to be polishing it up a little bit. And first I go in here with the belt sander, like a 120, and just knock all the divots and rough stuff off that came in from bending it. And then I'm going to go through with just sanding it by hand, working my way up through the grits until it's ready to be put on the polishing wheel. Now I probably could have edited this part down a little bit, made it a little shorter, but it took me so long to do this, so I felt like I didn't want to cut any out, so you could get a sense of how much time this took to sand everything down by hand. Okay, and so a little trick I did is I put this piece of cardboard behind the wheel, that way all the compound flinging off doesn't make a nice stripe on the wall like I did last time, and it's just an easy little trick to clean things up a little bit.
Boom. So I'm talking about.
Right here I'm just cutting up some felt that goes on the side strut for the part that goes against the helmet, that way it avoids scratching it. And I'm attaching that with some spray adhesive, pretty good stuff.
Alright, so this here is all the parts finished, polished, and I didn't film putting the paracord through because my camera died and then I got impatient, so all it was tying a piece of paracord through and burning the end, nothing complex. And now I'm just gonna put it together. Final construction.
So I've never used one of these little star washers before, but I had a normal washer there originally, and when I tried to put the wing nut on, it just like everything would spin and it wouldn't grab the metal. And so I saw those and I thought, oh, those probably are designed for this exact problem. And I don't know if they are or not, but it works, and now the wing nut doesn't spin when I turn it.
Okay, I actually just switched this to put the wing nut on the inside on both of these.
Just because it looks better.
And Then all this does is hook over here. It just hooks on top. For adjusting the height, it makes more sense when I have the camera on. But the camera can be right here and filming, and if I want to make it go a little bit higher, I just go like this, and I wrap one loop around. And now this sits higher. See, and then to make it lower, boom, I just go like that. This little screw right here goes into this hole, which goes under here, and I just tighten it onto the camera, and the camera just screws on right here. Alright, so this is what it looks like on the actual helmet itself. I know it's incredibly goofy looking, but it actually works really well. And when you're wearing it, this is like plenty of room to see and like work on stuff. This helmet was never intended for me to like do anything extreme. It just seemed like a good solution to film the certain shots that I wanted to film where I needed two hands. So I think it's going to be a cool little thing that I'm going to use a lot. I'll show you some shots what it's going to look like. Alright, so this is me wearing the helmet right now, and you might be asking too, like, why don't you just wear a GoPro, put a mount on there? And I could do that, but the camera quality is like way better than a freaking GoPro, like a lot better. So it's worth it for me because I could do shots like this where I need two hands. This is actually exactly what I was messing with when I decided I need to make this mount, because I was sitting there going like this, trying to film it, but you just can't get that first person perspective. And then I'm gonna put this block there. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so this is some footage with the actual thing itself. Another cool thing is while I'm wearing the helmet, I can look up and look at the monitor so I can see exactly what's in frame. Yeah, pretty cool. And the cool part is it doesn't even look goofy.